Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. The only way you can experience the entire video game industry or binge watch the entire video game industry. We're going all the way back to November 1982. We were last playing Speedway Blast and Spiders of Mars, and I gotta tell you, after playing more Speedway Blast, I gotta re-rate it. This one is so much fun, and it's so unique that I'm gonna go say it's one of the best games you could play on any home computer. Speedway Blast is 4.5 stars. It is so much fun, and it's doing something new and executing well. And also, Spiders of Mars, after playing it more and more, I have to give it in the same tier as we did with Astro Blitz for the Commodore VIC-20, which means Spiders of Mars is 4 stars. It is that good, or that much fun. And now, you ready to kick it up a notch? Let's see what our next game is. We're still on the Atari home computer. It's got lots of games. This is Spitfire Ace. I almost called it the other game by Microprose. Let's check out Spitfire Ace. Here is the box. Oh yes, and if it says Microprose software, we're in for something really good. Sid Meier gave us the first game we ever saw by him, Formula One Racing. And this is the 4th game that Microprose has given us. They did Chopper Rescue, Floor to the Jungle, and Hellcat Ace. And if this is anything like that, everything they've given so far has been amazing. Exciting 3-dimensional aerial combat over Europe in World War II. Yes, sign me up. How are they going to do it, though? I asked myself the question when we played Hellcat Ace, but, I mean, it's got to be the same engine, right? Yes, strap on your parachute, man. Man your Royal Marine Spitfire fighter and defend London during the Blitz with Spitfire Ace. If you look down at the bottom, there are games that we'll see later. There is Hellcat Ace that's down there, but the majority of the war games we haven't seen yet. This is the very beginning, the cusp of Microprose software. Oh, man, it looks really, really nice. What other artwork do we have for Spitfire Ace? This marks the 409th game we played for the Atari home computer thus far on Chronologically Gaming. And this might be the box you saw originally. This is an early cassette release of the front of this box. So right now, November 1982, this might have been the box that you saw, not this fancy, flashy one that you might have seen later. Besides the box, we also have the ad you would have seen with a few other games that Microprose software will be doing because they're going to hit really hard with the war-style games or flight games. Now that they got Sid Meier on their side, nothing will stop them. There's the example of the cassette tape we're going to pop into play because you played video games on cassettes in November 1982. And then much later, about 1984, is when this release comes out in the United Kingdom. They get a chance to play Spitfire Ace, published by US Gold. So this is the box. It looks kind of the same as what we just saw. Fancy. All right, tell us how to play Spitfire Ace. Oh, I'm so excited to play some flight simulation, if that's what they're going to do with this one. It's a game where it challenges your nerve, flying skill, and knowledge of air-to-air combat tactics. You fly your World War II plane against a computer-controlled airplane or airplanes in 14 different scenarios. Your goal is to complete 5 missions and become an ace. And there you go. Look at the top right. There's Sid Meier. Notice that his name is not on the box. He's not going to start doing that until later. All of the games we've seen don't have his name on the front saying Sid Meier's Civilization and stuff like that. We have no idea what that is. So there's how you load the game if you play on disc or cassette. We have lots of different game options because the Atari home computer has buttons to select the game mode, select, and then start right on the computer. So this one has several different game modes. You can do up to 4 different people can play because it does have slots for 4 controllers, but this one you'll be taking turns. You don't all get to play at the same time. Whenever the game boots up, there's the game display, so you know what your mirror, speed, altitude, course, ammo, and power is. And yes, this is a combat flight simulator. This is only the 8th combat flight simulator we've seen thus far. And this game, you have to use 2 joysticks. One Atari VCS joystick is to fly your plane. The other one is your throttle. So you have to use 2 joysticks to play this. So cool. And it explains here how to make a plane fly. It works really well with the Atari joystick. And we got some combat tactics because, yes, it's not just a flight simulator. We're going to be shooting stuff. We have several different scenarios. 14. France, Dunkirk. Look at this. airbase attack, blitz, London, Malta. And this one describes what every single scenario is going to do. It's pretty much just different locales. It's not exactly what you'd expect, like you're going to be going to different places. It's mostly shooting people in different areas. And they do have bombing runs too, which is really nice. And then after you finish every scenario, you get accumulated of victories and determine what your rank is. Rookie, wingman, pilot, ace, or world's greatest fighter pilot. Wow, wouldn't it be cool if we did that? Oh, Marshall saw that it says basic. Yes, right? It must have been a lot of machine code. All right, so there you go. You can see what your rank is based on over on the left side. And then this game allows you to do advanced combat aerobatics. You can do loops, split aces, split S's, and Immelman turns. And it explains what to do. And it even gives you the picture of what your plane will be doing. Look at this. Wow. Amazing. And there it is. Wingman, which we haven't seen yet, but there's Hellcat Ace and Floor to the Jungle. Floor to the Jungle is a 4-player simultaneous platformer. Highly recommend it. It's awesome. All right. They got a lot to look forward to. And this one, we're not going to play the US Gold version. We may see that one later in 1984, maybe not. Let's pop in the disc to play Spitfire Ace. This is Sid Meier and Microprose, released at some time in November 1982. Yes, Brad, we'll do our best to do a barrel roll if we can. Combat Flight Simulator is so rare. This is only the 8th that we've seen on everything since the beginning. Hellcat Ace is another really good one. Dawn Patrol is rough. It's a rough combat flight simulator. B-17 Bomber for the Mattel Intellivision, it works pretty well. A Red Baron, though, is really fun that we played in the arcades. There's really not a whole lot of combat flight simulators. Okay, so here's how the game begins. You select what scenario you want and the number of players you want. So you can see I'm selecting the scenario by hitting the select or the option button on my computer. And then you can select the number of players you want too, 1, 2, 3, or 4. You don't get to play at the same time, you take turns, but we'll go ahead and go with scenario 1. Let's fly over France. And I think, did we do something similar to France last time when we played Hellcat Ace? I can't really remember. But having 4 players being able to play, even though you're taking turns, is really nice. All right, let's go into it. Your mission, shoot down the German bomber. So that's our mission. Press start to begin. And then this keeps a ranking of all the pilots. We only got 1 this time. Let's push start and go. Oh, yes. So the first thing is the way this controls and responds is mind-blowing that I'm playing something like this. Because we played games that are space combat simulators where you're meant to be flying around. Oh, there we go. It's less rare to play something with not a sci-fi flavor like this. And for this to be responding this well and play this well is so cool. Now we got to shoot down the Stuka dive bomber. Ready? We're still doing the first scenario, by the way. Let's do this. Go! And I have to use my other joystick to do throttle and different moves. I want to see if I can... Oh, nope. Got it. Nice. It's breaking down our victories. I don't know if it does an ammo count or not, but in the manual it explains how they're going to determine our rank at the end. Man, it's so cool. Yeah, that's right, Brian. God Save the Queen playing over. Music in the video game too. Here, let's see. Can we do a barrel roll? Don't crash. Awesome. I can't believe how well this responds and plays. Uh-oh, pull. Oh, gosh, lift up. Let's see if we can catch up to him. Since the beginning, we played video games that are so slow, they're borderline unplayable because some of the games are just text. So to be able to play something like this is otherworldly. Oh, almost. I can't believe I didn't get him. Yes. Destroying all of them. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't do a true barrel roll. Ready? Shoot down the German bomber. Let's keep going. This is awesome. Oh, now we got a night scene. Cool. Get him. Keeping it a little minimal. I'll keep him that distance. That looks pretty good. Oh, I got a piece of him, but I didn't knock him out. Let's see it. Come on. Oh, gosh. If you want to play something that's one of the best ways to play a combat flight simulator right now. The Microsoft Flight Simulator has a combat mode, and that one's still pretty good. This one though has a slight arcadey flavor. So I can just jump in and play and shoot up a few people in this game without having to worry about too much keyboard controls. Uh-oh. We're falling. I gotta speed us up. Let's go over on this side. Where'd you go? There he is. Lead the shots. Oh, I can't believe that one missed. There we go. So cool. Yeah, this is very, very impressive. Plays way too well for everything you'd expect. And it's just rare that we're playing this game, this kind of game. Avoid the German on your tail is the next one. That's the other thing that makes this game so much fun is the scenarios have multiple things that happen. So the last part, I crashed because I didn't avoid the German on my tail. I wasn't fast enough. Yeah, Barclay says increase the power. Yes, we need to go faster. So there we go. The final score we got was pilot. 4 victories. There's our score and rank. We were just pilot, which is good enough for me for this time. There is so much more you can dive into and have a great time with Spitfire Ace. We just did a quick taste of the first experience you would have had with this game. First-person perspective, 2 joysticks to give you a sprinkling of simulation, but it doesn't do it too much. It still has that arcade flavor just a little bit there. It takes place in World War II. You get to do historical event flights. It has... the control just is very, very easy to pick up and play, which is awesome. So it's doing a lot, and it seems to be doing it easily. So this is going to be released later on the Commodore 64 and the PC around 1984. That's why we saw the US Gold publisher that we're going to see again for this game. So it's going to stay around, and it is very, very good. Looking over the chat, I see some 4s from Jeremiah and James, and then Brad saying 3.5, M. Tiskey saying 3.5. I am going even way higher. Of all the games you could play right now on all home computers, Spitfire Ace is one of the best. I'm going to say 4.5 stars, just like we did with Hellcat Ace. It is a great time, and the only reason you probably wouldn't be into it is if the simulation or the flying really isn't your cup of tea. But it is very, very well done. That Sid Meier's going somewhere. Yeah, Brian's saying 4.5, Barclay's saying 4 too. Oh yeah, and Curtis saying 3.5 to 4. So yeah, Spitfire Ace, it is definitely above average. I'm saying way above average for all the games you could play. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is. It's time to play on the TRS-80 color computer. Let's play Squeeze. This one we don't have a lot of info for. Just an ad. Oh gosh, there's Alchemist Laboratory and Lokar's Magic Staff. It's an arcade-style game where aliens close in from both sides at once. I don't know what to expect. Let's pop it and play Squeeze by somebody. Published by the Real Software Company at sometime in November 1982. This is our 172nd game we played on the Coco. It's in BASIC. Okay. Ready? Oh. I know I typed probably just a little too fast. This is the 3rd game we've seen by the Real Software Company. They did Lokar's Magic Staff and The Alchemist, so I don't have high hopes for this one. Squeeze it in there. Got a title to get us going. Curtis is already spoiling it. Prepare to be underwhelmed. Do you need instructions? Yeah. Aliens are attacking from both sides. You have to fight off the best you can. If you kill 100 of them before they reach the center, you have won the game. Move the defender using up and down. Arrow keys. Oh, it's only keyboard? Okay, I'll get my hands on the keyboard then. You have 10 aliens. You will hear this sound. Okay, that sound. Every time you hear that sound, the aliens will start closing faster and faster. Okay. And they're giving us sound cues. The game starts out slowly, but watch out. All right, I guess we'll start on difficulty level 1 and then go into it. Oh, I see. Keyboard control. So you're literally just using the cursor keys to... Oh, gosh, the response is so bad. If I want to go to the left or right, I'm just using arrow keys to shoot left, to shoot right, and you're just making sure the aliens... They look like hourglasses, but the aliens don't get to the middle where you are. Oh, man. This is a chore. Ready? I'm going to push up. And now I'm going to push up. That's how long it takes. Well, at least that time they had a little warning. Oh man, scary. This is a fixed shooter. This is the 385th fixed shooter we've seen thus far on Chronologically Gaming, and the 221st we've seen for all home computers up to this point. A fixed shooter on its side like this, shooting from side to side, is a little bit more rare. There was a mode we saw on Twerps, and Marauder had something like that, and Shadowfax was the game that we played for one of the versions where you're Gandalf on a horse, but it was shooting on the side too, like this. So it's not usually at the bottom of the screen. Oh gosh. Well, at least the game has difficulty options, but yikes. Squeeze is rough. That one's just slow, painful. We played some simple, easy games to play. This one's simple and easy, but it doesn't even execute well. So I gotta say, it's bad for all the games you could play up to this point. Brad's thrown out 2 stars for all the games on all home computers. Jeremiah is saying 1.5, and James is saying 1.5. Yeah, right. Oh, Beam Rider's another good example. Beam Rider, it still was like kind of going around the screen, but it's, yeah, very poor, very poor. I'm gonna have to say low. Yes, it does. It moves even worse than an LCD handheld. I'm going to go 1.5 stars for everything you could play on all home computers. It's bad. It's in the bad range. Not necessarily broken. It gets the job done, but yikes. Yeah, 1.5, another 1.5 that I see in the chat. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is after this commercial break. Let's go to the video game store.
Yes?
Yes? Pitfall and Stampede by Activision?
Sure.
For Intellivision.
No. Activision doesn't make video games
The
for
Intellivision?
Pitfall, that challenging jungle adventure game that dares you to find the treasure, and Stampede, that rope them doggies roundup game.
Negative. Pitfall and Stampede by Activision for...
He just yells out wrong.
Activision. We put you in the game.
That's right. Activision does make games for the Intellivision. Let's play Stampede on the Intellivision. All the games we've seen up to this point have been Activision on the Atari 2600, except Pitfall. We have seen Pitfall on the Intellivision, and this is their second game for the Intellivision. They've done, we saw this on the Atari 2600 first in December 1981, so they are porting this to Intellivision. Look at this. They even changed everything. Where's the rainbow by Activision? You've changed, Activision. You've changed. But the front of the box is still pretty slick. Flip it over the back. Yeah, there we go. They even credit Bob Whitehead. Very nice. Roping cowboy at a time. The video game action that's as wild as the Wild West. Because that's where we are. The Wild West of video games. I'm too much of an Atari guy, too. I should play more Intellivision. And we will. What other artwork do we have for Stampede? This is our 50th game that we played for the Mattel Intellivision on Chronologically Gaming. Activision's done 22 games. This is their 22nd. Everything they've done has been on the Atari 2600, except for, actually, some of the best games they've done have been on the Atari 2600, like Ice Hockey, Star Master, Barnstorming, Mega Mania, Kaboom, and then we saw Pitfall on the Intellivision, and here's their second one. Oh, man. Besides that, here's the idea what I've seen from magazines. The toughest challenge known to man, and that's no bull. As usual, Intellivision has a overlay that you got to put over your numpad to play the game, but this one really doesn't need it too bad. You're just going to push what game you want, and it gives you a description of what the game modes are. There's our Intellivision with Stampede. Still rocking it. There's the cartridge for Stampede. They changed up just a little bit when they brought it over to the Intellivision, which is a nice touch. Yeah, there we go. Very cool. All right, how do we play some Stampede? Well, we've already played it on the Atari 2600. It can't be that much different, right? This one, they've already been credited for Bob Whitehead. This is the 12th game we've seen by Mr. Whitehead. He did blackjack, football, skiing, boxing, and Stampede, all on the Atari 2600, among other ones, like Chopper Command 2. All right, so the basics of Stampede is to score as many points as possible. We haven't heard that one before. Shows us how to hook up the system. We can select the game level by pushing the appropriate number on the keypad, and then the controller or disc of your controller is how you move the cowboy around the screen, and then you push one of the action buttons on the side to throw the lasso. We want to wrangle up some of the cows and then lasso them to get some points. How to get the feel of Stampede by Activision. climb in the saddle and then start riding. You're just going to be moving from the top of the screen down to the bottom. And we just mentioned shadow effects in the game before as it being a game on its side, turned on its side instead of going up and down. This one does the same thing. It's a game turned on its side, but it's doing something very unique. There isn't a lot of equestrian style video games that are out there. There's the example of the screenshot where they're breaking down everything that you see on the screen and then what the game modes actually do, which is helpful here in the manual. It explains the dangers of the trail, what your lasso will do. And yes, you have no time limit in this game. You can keep on riding and roping as long as the strays don't pass you. You have to make sure all the cows stay on the screen or you lasso them. If any of them pass you or a certain number, then you're out of luck. Yes, we can join the Activision Trail Drive just like we did on the Atari 2600 if you get the right score. 3,000 points on Stampede. It doesn't say what game mode, though. What if it's just game mode 1? And you can get the patch. And there he is, Bob Whitehead. Way to go, Bob. Way to go, Bob. Let's pop in and play some Stampede by Activision on the Intellivision at sometime in November 1982. Because now you can do it. This is the only game that is an equestrian video game. I mean, like you're actually doing sports type activities on a horse. Shadow effects really doesn't count. So this is unique in that regard. All right, so what game do we want to play? Let's start with game mode 1, some slow cows, and go. Give me some slow cows. Nice sound effect of the cow. So if you just move up and down and you nudge the cows, you see how it works? You just, like you're herding them and keeping them on the screen. But that won't keep the game going. If you look at the top left of the screen, that's how many you have. Oh, see? I already had one pass. That's how many you are allowed to have pass you. Once you have enough cows pass you, then the game's over. So you're trying to get as many points as you can by lassoing. Got to lasso them like that. Avoid the things in the road. Oh, we got another one. Man. And they all have the different names for the cows. Holsteins, Jersey cows. The Black Angus is the one that just passed me. And those Black Anguses, man, they come in so quick. There it is. Oh, not going to give me this time. That's better. The different colors are the different kinds of cows. I think I'll keep that one. Yeah, the white ones are pretty quick, though. Let's keep them at bay. That's better. But, oh, I let the slow one pass, and there you go. So I got a score of 401. But if you make it to 3,000 points, then you can be part of the Activision... Oh, wait, why won't it let me reset? Can I... oh, clear it? No? There we go, yeah. Game number 1, slow cows. Got to know the right button to hit on your Intellivision number pad. Okay, so that's the way the game works. It is a unique game because you're not shooting anything and it's not sci-fi themed. It's a Wild West theme. So it's doing something unique and new. But for my money, it's not as impressive as it could be. But it's still a very well done arcade style. Oh, that was close. Almost. Score attack game that you could find enjoyment for it, but for my money, there's better games that Activision's done and better games you could play for home consoles, so it's not something that is like the top tier of everything that's out there. So we're doing okay, but we are playing on game mode 1, which is slow cows. Take your time. Oh, there's that Black Angus. It goes by way too fast. Oh, I got a better score though, 552. Cool. So yeah, we got herding, we got roping, we got cow wrangling. So for video games in the world of everything we've seen up to this point, it's still unique and it's still original. But you can understand how the game works. Very, very simple to pick up and play. You just got to move up and down and herd or wrangle the cattle, and then make sure they stay on the screen. Don't let any of them pass you, and then lasso them. And we already saw it on the Atari 2600. Here it is on the Intellivision. Of all the games you could play on all home consoles right now, I'd still say this is around the average range for everything you could play up to this point because of how unique it is and it's trying to do something different, and the presentation is very good for a home console game. I'm thinking around 3.5 stars. I look over in the chat, I see some people throwing out 3 or 3.5. Ooh, Jeremiah's saying the 2600 version is 4 stars. Oh, really? And Intellivision doesn't look as good. Intellivision, I would say, is still pretty much the same as the Atari 2600. Jeremiah's saying 3.5. Errol's throwing out a 2-star. Oh, and the glitches. Oh, you mean like the shadow or the effect of the cows on the screen kind of flickering? Yeah, the flicker. I'm not sure if that's a normal fare or not. But everything else is saying 3 stars that I've seen from the chat. I'll bump it at 1. I'll rate it the same that we did for the Atari 2600. 3.5 stars for the Intellivision. It still is done well enough. If you do not like playing on the disc of the Intellivision, I can understand you rating this less than the Atari 2600. It is classic on that one too. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is. We're next going to the United Kingdom. Oh, wait. That sound means it's night time for another Star Trek variant. On the BBC Micro this time. This one is a 2-pack, Star Trek and Candy Floss. What in the world is Candy Floss? Well, we're going to find out. This is our 43rd game we played for the Acorn BBC Micro. I do not have a box for this combo pack. The 2 games, I just have some screenshots. Some screenshots of Star Trek, ooh, and screenshots of Candy Floss. And, oh, there we go. That's a pretty one. But that's about it. All right, so this is a 2-sided cassette, so let's pop in the first side, which is Candy Floss. This is by John Sinclair IJK Software, released at some time in November 1982. The 4th game we've seen by IJK Software after games like Invaders, Pontoon, and 3D Maze. How original. All right, so here's Candy Floss. This is the first game we've ever seen by John Sinclair. Wow. We've heard some good sound effects on the BBC Micro. This might be the best music so far on the BBC Micro for any video game. Or it's easily top 3. Wow, that's so much music. Yeah, that's top tier video game music on the BBC Micro. How many people are playing? Well, in Candy Floss, you can have 9 people play. We are totally not doing that. We don't have time for that. Let's play with, how about 4 people? And we get to name them. Let's do Chrono. Oh, cool. We can do caps too. That's awesome. I'll do it all in caps. Name a player 2. Let's do everyone from the chat. Brian was next. And then before that, we got Curtis. And then player number 4 looks like it was Kim. The Blackpool Weather Report. It's sunny. Press space to continue. It doesn't give us instructions. Usually they give us instructions of what we're playing. On day 1, Candy Floss costs 2 pence. This is my stand. How much Candy Floss will you make? Oh, no way. It's another business management simulation game. Or a management simulator. Kind of the games like Lemonade. All right, how much Candy Floss will I make? If it only costs 2 pence, I'll make 5. So the whole idea of these kinds of games right now is you just are making decisions based on your resources as if you were the owner of the business. But this one's kind of cute because I guess this is cotton candy, maybe? Is that what Candy Floss is? How many advertisement signs do we want to make? Let's make 2. And then how much do you want to charge for Candy Floss? 2 pence is, I'm going to go big, 4 pence. Do you want to change anything? And no, I do not. And then we go to the next stand. So it's a turn-based strategy game. Now the next person gets to take their turn. Brian can say how much Candy Floss they want to make. Let's have him make 10. How much advertising signs? Make 1. And then how much do you want to charge? Let's keep it, wait, is this, his say 2 pounds? What? I'll keep it 2. Okay, do you want to change anything? No. Oh, it still says that one. Then we go to the next person's stand. Curtis's stand. How much Candy Floss will they make? They will make, can we do 50? How much advertising signs? Let's do 1. And then how much do you want to charge? Let's say he's going to go all out. 59. Do you want to change anything? No. And then finally, we'll do Kim's stand. How many Candy Floss will you make? Let's say you're just going to make 1. And then make 4 advertisement signs. How much do you want to charge? Let's do 1. No. So everyone's making different decisions on what they want to do with their business. And now the daily financial report shows my stand has 5 Candy Floss sold, 3 pence per Candy Floss. So I made 20 pence. So you can see how the game works. We've seen these games before plenty of times on Chronologically Gaming. I'm actually excited for one of the games we're going to see much later called Drug Wars, where you do this exact same thing, but you are acting as if you were a drug lord and making decisions on, how much you want all the drugs to be. All right, so this is the daily report. They're going to give a response for everyone's stand on how they look right now. I don't know if the plural for Candy Floss is Candy Flossy. Candy Flosses? I'm not even sure what I'm selling. What is candy floss? Maybe we are selling drugs. I don't even know. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so you can see everyone's decisions. Oh, man, negative 62 cents or next 62 pence. But you understand how the game is played. You do have to keep going for quite a long time to get some enjoyment out of it and then obviously make the correct decisions. All right, there you go. So that's Candy Floss, but this is a 2-pack. That's right, a compilation. This one is our 64th Star Trek variant we've played thus far. Also part of this 2-pack. Way to go, John. Let's see how to play Star Trek, part of IJK's Star Trek. The strategy game where you must destroy the Klingons. Yes, they call them the Klingons. Awesome. All right, so this one you have commands you have to type. 3 letters each time. Oh, man, make sure you memorize that. XXX to resign and restart. I'll probably be doing that soon. So after all the Star Trek we played, I need to see something impressive. Show me something new. Destroy the 19 Klingons, destroy them by that star date, and there are 2 star bases. Okay, we've seen that one before. Yikes, look at all the green. It's like we're playing on the Coco. But no, it's the BBC Micro. All right, so it's going to give us whatever commands we want. So we can do, looks like the Enterprise is represented by the E at the top. Our condition's green, there's the star date, and then we got 2 stars. This one's another one that I think is turn-based. Notice there's nothing happening that's active or real-time while I play the game. We have played real-time Star Trek games. This one does not do that. All right, so I want to put up the shields. Shields. We got 3,000 energy units. How much is going to go to shields? Let's do 200 to shields. Shields are now at 200 units. Very nice. All right, so let's look at long-range scan. I think we're on short range. So there's the quadrant. We're in quadrant 6-4, and it can tell us where we need to move. It doesn't really describe what things are in the different quadrants, but if we do our navigation system, we can set a course for, let's say set a course for 4. Warp factor 2. Engage. Oh, and we landed in a quadrant that has no Klingons again. And nothing. There's just stars here. So let's navigate again. And this is how you play Star Trek. You are moving around the galaxy using as little resources as you can to manage your starship, usually the Enterprise. And can you destroy all the Klingons within a certain time frame? Because notice the star date is already ticking. We're 2401 now. All right, so let's head to course number 2. And warp factor, I don't need to use that much energy. Warp factor 2. Engage. Permission to cross galactic border denied. Engines shut down. Oh, okay, we can't go that way. All right, so do it again. I think we did this in the last Star Trek game. I went beyond the normal range. Warp factor 2. Enterprise. Oh, no Klingons here either. Well, it's a very slow and easygoing in the land of Star Trek. Yeah, usually the long-range scan does, but they just had numbers, and they didn't represent what the numbers stand for. Oh, yes, and Jeremiah's just brought up Stellar Track in the comments. That is the only Star Trek variant that you could play right now on home consoles. Everything else that we played that are Star Trek games like this are all on the home computers. All right, that's enough of our quick taste of Star Trek games. If you want to check out some of the games we played much longer, like an actual real long play session of a Star Trek game, I'll include links for those down below. Now that we played 64 games of Star Trek, it's getting a little long in the tooth. All right, so Star Trek and Candy Floss is a 2-parter. So this 2-pack is interesting. I would still say of all the games you could play up to this point, it's still around the average range because Candy Floss is a very antiquated idea and the way that it's executed is. The music, though, for the BBC Micro, that might be the most impressive thing about it. And Star Trek you saw is just pretty much Star Trek. Yeah, so I'm looking over the chat. Most people are saying average 3 stars. I see a 2 from Brad for all the games you could play. Yeah, that's true. On the BBC Micro, you would have a good time and you would enjoy this one. Going against everything else for all the home computers that are out there, I would have to say, yeah, it's still fairly middling. 3 stars for Star Trek and Candy Floss. Maybe we'll become millionaires selling Candy Floss, or maybe not. All right, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause for this episode. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me in the live chat. I see you over there. I see all the ratings you're sending out. I love it. Thanks so much for being here for the live show. And then if you're not, just leave a comment down below, and we'll get back to you. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, what is this? The 90s? We're going to the arcades to see a mascot platformer. We also are checking out a contender for the best game of American football we have ever played up to this point. That's it for today, and like I always say, innovate your video games. Be meticulous about your video games. Refine the video games. Make the video games fun, and repeat. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.